Friday Night Hangout Season 7. Welcome to the Friday Night. Mhm. Welcome to the Friday Night Hangout Season 7. Yay! I am your host, Joy Onyeso. The Friday Night Hangout is a community committed to safe space and networking. Here you have strategies, tools, and life stories that will help you play full out and be the best version of you. You will build and strengthen the skills needed to live a life of abundance in your personal, business, and professional lives. If you want to change the results you've been getting over the years, you have to change the way you do things. And in this season, I am giving you that opportunity to learn new strategies and skills. We have amazing content that will help in repositioning you for growth. I invite you to come fully present and engage this season. Also invite your family, friends, colleagues, and loved ones. I look forward to engaging with you every Friday night, 7 p.m. West African time, live on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and I ask you to make it a date with me. You wouldn't regret being part of this tribe. As always, I love, honor, and celebrate you. Hey, welcome. Yay! I'm excited, right? Honestly, this is a season of celebration. The season continues, and I just want to welcome you to another exciting episode of the Friday Night Hangout. I'm your host, Joy Onyeso. Ooh. And this month we continue the conversation on celebrating yourself. And we're going to deepen the conversation. So if you're just joining in, I want to say a very big welcome. Please let me know where you're joining in from. And don't forget to put in the TGIF. It is drizzling here on the side of the town in Enugu. What's happening if you're in Enugu? I want to know where you're joining in from, and I want to see your TGIF. I am energized. I am inspired. I am excited. Hey, I see my people don't day here already. Welcome, Edie, Rosemary. Welcome, Goodness, relationship coach. Welcome, Daisy. Nice to have you in here. I see Esther, my sister. Welcome. Opulora Chidima, thank you for joining in. I see your TGIFs. Thank you. Let me know which part of the country you're joining in from. And if this is your first time, a very big welcome to you. This is your tribe. The Friday Night Hangout is a space where you come to learn and you come to also express your authentic self. We discuss topical issues and I give you tools and strategies that can help you to be the best version of yourself. If you're a tribe member, you can't help but keep in action because that's what we do here. I see you all. Welcome. I'm excited because tonight we're going to be spotlighting an Amazon. I'm not going to bring her in yet. We're going to have some conversation before she joins us in. But really is a season where we have this frank conversation about celebrating ourselves. Especially in our clime, Nigeria and Africa, this conversation is apt and is very important because oftentimes, I'm trying to read a message. Okay. Thank you. I was trying to get a back end message from my team. Okay, so, excuse me. So in this part of the climb, we don't pay attention to ourselves. We're always external, celebration external, recognition external, everything external. Even when there are issues, we don't look inwards, it's external. Everything is external. So this month, I want us to take time to look at it, to really look at ourselves and what it really means to celebrate. Last week, we had some conversation, but I was in traffic It was dark, and so we had to end the conversation early. But luckily tonight I'm back at base. There is light, hopefully, and the conversation will go in deep. And I want us to just really dissect what celebrating yourself means. And for tonight, I want to focus on the authentic you. You can't celebrate what you do not know. You cannot appreciate what you do not know. And sadly, most of us do not know ourselves. And we do not know ourselves because we've not given ourselves the time. We've not given ourselves the permission to spend time with ourselves. We're willing to spend time with everyone else, but not ourselves. For some of us, we're afraid to get to meet us. For some of us, we're undecided whether we'd like the version of us that we are. And so tonight, the conversation will be focused on you understanding the importance of getting to meet you. So Joy understanding the importance of meeting who Joy really is. And so when I ask people, I say, can you kindly introduce yourself to me? And they go, my name is, I've said, beyond your name, beyond the position, who really is Joy? Who is she? And so when we talk about being authentic, we're really talking about you being keenly aware of who you are, what you stand for, and you expressing yourself in a healthy and consistent manner to the world. And this is really key because oftentimes people have multiple identities and they get confused as to what really is their core identity. Your core identity is that part of you that speaks to your values, that speaks to your beliefs, your behaviors, and your actions. That is your core identity. So beyond your name, beyond your title, beyond your position, who really are you? And I say this with all form of humility. Because if you don't know you, you can't celebrate you. You can only celebrate what you understand. You can only celebrate what you see, what you feel. And so while this conversation will be going on, I would encourage you to please get out your writing materials. And as we're having the conversation, just be dropping the words, the thoughts that come to your mind. This is not a conversation I want you to play with. It's a conversation I really want you to engage with. I really want you to engage with this conversation. As a business coach, one of the things I love to do with my clients is to start from personal development. The truth is, you can't be successful in business or in your profession if you're messed up as an individual, if you do not know who you are, if you have no understanding of your identity. It's difficult because you won't be able to express your authentic self and you won't be able to take good, effective decisions. Because the way you behave, the way you show up is dependent on you knowing who you are. So in very simple terms, your values, your beliefs, your behavior, all add up to you, the real you. So when people say, I want to know you, I want to see the real you, that's what we're talking about. I love the song by Dusi Oyeko where he talks about to know you. So the song is all about God, to know God. That when he knows God, he gets to know himself more. And that's how I see it. Because you can't talk about your values, your beliefs without talking about your source. So have you given yourself time to get to meet you? Have you given yourself the permission to spend time with yourself? Hey, Joy, give Joy the permission to spend time with Joy. Oh, sounds crazy, right? But that's the reality. And you know why this is very important? There's a lot of things happening now, so much pressure, so much uncertainties, so much challenges happening. And if I keep saying this, and I can't stop saying this until we see a change in Nigeria. If you're living in Nigeria like in a time like this, I celebrate you. I really do celebrate you. And so it makes it even more difficult for you to get to meet you. It makes it even more difficult for you to get to know you. So tonight, I want to take us on a journey to get to meet us. And if perchance you've taken that journey and you've met yourself, I celebrate you. And if perchance you're still on that journey where you're getting to meet yourself, I still celebrate you. Because it takes a lot of bravery, a lot of courage, a lot of you willing to be vulnerable to get to meet you. And I tell you, when you start meeting you, when you start knowing you, when you start spending time with you, things are going to shift. Because you would get to really understand what makes you tick. You get to understand what your passion is, what your purpose is all about. You get to understand what talents you have. This is all about you. You really get to understand what drives you, what makes you come alive, what makes you feel engaged. You get to know what makes you feel distracted. If you don't know all of this, you would always be confused. You would always be second guessing yourself, and you will always be flip-flopping. So when people say, oh, you know what, I think that is green, and in your mind, before you really thought it was white, but because it's someone you respect so much and she says it's green, you can't see the green. You say, oh yeah, I think so, that's green. She leaves, and that person comes and say, I think that is blue. Joe, what do you think? This is someone that thought it was white, it was green. Now you say, I think it's blue. You put so much pressure on yourself. It's nobody putting pressure on you. It's you putting pressure on yourself because you do not know who you are. So tonight, I want us to revalidate who we are. I want us to rediscover who we are. And let me tell you this. Knowing you is a lifelong journey. Because the version of you that wakes up tomorrow will be different from the version of you that exists today. And that's why it's important that you get to know some strategies of how you can always keep in tune with yourself. But let's first of all look at what it means to be authentic. We've described what authentic means, but how does it really play out? When you're real, when you're authentic, when you are you, you show up in an honest way. You can express yourself honestly and consistently. So when we're talking about a subject matter, because being authentic is tied to values, beliefs, behaviors, you have to be consistent. You can't be one point saying this and next time I call you about the same issue. Yes, your viewpoint can change when you evolve, when you get in new knowledge, but the way you express it will be consistent. Some people really can be so aggressive. And they say, oh, that's who I am. That's who I am, being aggressive. That is who you are, always lying. That is who you are, always flip-flopping. That is who you are, not being bold enough to get to meet you. You're just hopping around people and, taking on the colors that they show. You're a chameleon. That is not who you are. That is who you think you are. Yes, thank you. You have to honestly know who you are. And nothing about being authentic is you give yourself the permission to be vulnerable. And I want to dwell on this because in this part of our climb, we think that being vulnerable is being weak. It's not powerful enough. It's not real enough. I'm someone that is very emotional. So if I feel like crying, I cry. Because that's what I feel at that point in time. It doesn't have to be dependent on what you want me to do. That is how I feel at that point in time, because the issues I'm dealing with touches me. And one thing about being authentic is you get to know what your strengths and your weaknesses are, and then you get to work on improving your weaknesses. You get to work on focusing on your strengths. And that's what will let you know whether you are meant to be an entrepreneur, or you're meant to be a professional, or you're meant to take a blue collar job. Whatever it is, you get to do what is you. Some persons, like I get to talk with some of my clients, and you're just engaging with them, getting to know what makes them come alive and all that. I just see that they are in the wrong direction. It's either because of what people will think, what the family want, what the husband want, what the siblings want, but never about what they want. They want to be that sacrificial lamb. So being authentic means being in tune with your values, with your beliefs. You give yourself the permission to be vulnerable. Vulnerable is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it's a sign of strength. Tears are not sign of weaknesses. Nah. They are just sign that this person is strong enough, courageous enough to be vulnerable. And that's how you invite people to connect with you. You know how you see people and say, this person doesn't feel real. How do you know the person doesn't feel real? Just step back a little bit and think about it. How do you know this person is not real? You know this person is not real because something about that person doesn't just feel right. It doesn't connect to something inside of you. It's all about inside. It's not external. It's not external. So you're not able to connect. And when you're not able to connect, it's difficult for you to, engage with that person. So it's very important that you really give yourself that permission to spend time with you. And you can't know you if you don't spend time with you. Some of us are busy hopping around activities. It's difficult. So you need to give yourself time to step aside. One of the things I really loved about Jesus Christ is that you would often see and read in the Bible that after something major, either a major miracle, a major event, he will usually withdraw to pray. And I'm saying to myself, it's not just only to withdraw to pray. It's also withdrawing to center himself. Because it can get too much. Okay, that's happened. I'll keep talking until the lights come on. So it can get too much. It can get too much. And when it gets too much, you get overwhelmed. You get confused. You don't even know what you stand for again. So it's very important, and it's very important that you take time out to spend with yourself. And I do this a lot. I had a lot of back-to-back activities. And when I finished the She Speaks Summit, okay, it has started again. As when I finished the She Speaks Summit, I had to take some time out to find me, to tune into me. And that's what's helpful. You need to take that time out to find you. The light has gone off. I hope the generator will come on soon. But I hope you're hearing me. You can see me just a little bit. Oh, great. Thank you, Adeze. That works. Adeze is my backup. So you have to take time out to get to know you. And, I was reflecting. When Christ did that major miracle, he took time out. Even he takes time out from his disciples. He had his circle, his inner circle. He took time out from his inner circle to find himself, to get himself attuned to the ministry he's called for. How much more you? You're always busy. You don't make out time to step aside, rejuvenate. Step aside to recreate. Very important. Very, very important. So it's very important that you take out time to get to meet you. You take out time to spend and learn how to shut off the noise. Everybody's telling, especially when there's a major thing happening. It could be positive, it could be negative things. It could be, but when you're going through any challenging situation or any celebratory affair, take out time to shut out the noise, because everyone has a perspective and everyone will want to pour out that perspective to you. But the key thing I ask you is, what do you really want? What resonates well with you? And you know how this works. If you're doing something that is you, that is at the core of you, you don't struggle. You feel good about it. So sometimes when I find myself to show up, I keep saying I'm an extroverted introvert. And there are certain things I really would not want to do. And when it becomes too much of a struggle, I tell myself, rather than going there and, making the place not fun enough or whatever, I'll rather excuse myself and find ways of making up. There will be time you need to say no. You need to learn how to use the power of no. When things are not you, don't force it. Don't just force it. So find what really resonates with you, what really is you. Just a minute. And I said, this is better. Thank you. Yeah, this is much better. Thank you. Find really what resonates with you, what works with you, and do that. And when you're able to do that, celebration would come, because it will become natural for you to celebrate yourself. And I said it last week, and I'm still saying it again this week. When I talk about celebrating yourself, I'm not talking about throwing a party. I'm not talking about throwing a party. I'm talking about being aware of yourself, recognizing yourself, giving yourself the accolade, patting yourself to say, hey girl, hey guy, you did just well. It doesn't matter what people are saying, but what matters is what you feel. You knowing you are wearing the shoes, and you know how it hurts. It may be so effortless for someone else to do certain things, but you is a struggle to do it, and you need to acknowledge and respect that. So you've tried. Because I see a lot of us these days, we find it difficult to be gentle with ourselves. We don't know what it means to be kind to ourselves. It's easier for us to be kind to others than to be kind to ourselves. And that has to stop. So when you learn to celebrate yourself, you learn to be kind to you. When you learn to celebrate yourself, you learn to use the power of your no. And you can use that power of a no in a consistent and healthy manner. So you don't need to say, oh, because they say validate yourself, I don't need anybody to validate me. You get rude, aggressive because you want to use the power of your no. No, it doesn't work that way. Just be authentic. It means just connect to yourself. Connect to yourself. Another thing I want to tell us is make out time to be present with yourself. No matter what is happening around you, just be present with you. Don't allow challenges, don't allow events make you lose connection with you, that you find it so difficult to know who you are. So be present with you. In every situation, find you. And this is one way of avoiding sycophancy. In our climb, there's a lot of sycophancy going around. People will clap you till you miss your road. And because they are clapping and hailing you, boss, mama, my this, my that, you are the da, you are the da, you are the da. And it gets to you, you lose connection with yourself, and you just keep flying with the accolades. And you miss it completely. And when you miss it completely, you will lose your path. You will completely lose your path. So in all that hailings, like we say here in Nigeria, in all the hailings, in all the nice words and all that, in all the praises, please know you. Know you and keep faith with you. Know you and keep faith with you. Do not allow all of this to distract you. Accept the praises. I'm not saying you should not, but know your boundaries. Do not get caught up in the whole thing that you lose yourself. Very important. Very, very important. And boundary setting. We really need to learn how to set our boundaries. Boundary setting is a very key aspect of living your authentic life. Let people know what your boundaries are. And people will keep pushing your buttons. They'll keep pushing your buttons, pushing your buttons, pushing your buttons until there is nothing else to push. They just keep doing pam, 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 and you will just be jumping up and down. And you just lose it. It's a little bit dark here, but don't worry. I think they're trying to get the generation. You know, sometimes things happen. This is Nigeria. A lot of things happen, and when it happens, but just listen to my voice and just get the gist. Alisa, can you keep the light steady, please? Thank you. So sometimes it happens, and you just forget your boundaries, forget everything, and then you miss it. So in all of this, know your boundaries and keep to your boundaries. And know when it's right to leave. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this boundary setting. You know, when we find people in toxic environments, toxic situations, you know, why they find it difficult to leave, it's very complex. It's not just as a result of one thing. It's a potpourri of a lot of factors. And one of the factors is not knowing who they are, being afraid to be themselves. They take all manner of things because they don't want people to say. But the truth is, people will always say. At the end of the day, you're wearing the shoes and you know where it hurts. And when you are present with yourself, you would know how to listen to your inner voice. That's one of the things God gave to us, to guide us, to keep. When God says, when Christ was living, he said he was going to send the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit was going to guide us, to teach us, to be our comforter. Some of us don't even listen when the Holy Spirit is ministering to us. That still, quiet voice that would always point you to the right place, and you don't want to go there, even though that's what looks like it for you. But you're so obsessed with pleasing people. You're so obsessed with making other people feel so good that you lose you. You can't serve who you've been called to serve if you don't allow yourself to be authentic. So listen to that inner voice. Listen to that inner voice. Listen to that inner voice and engage with you. I know some of my clients have asked me, how do I even get to know that this is me? How do I even get to know who I really am? And I would tell you, take a personal inventory. So if you're listening to me today and you're in that space where you're still struggling to know, is this me? Who really am I? I'll ask you to take a personal inventory. And what would you be looking at? Now, this is it. Ask yourself some key questions. When do I feel happy? What makes me feel happy? You need to start taking, as I say, personal inventory. You need to start journaling. I love to journal. This is part of the process of getting to meet you and getting to know you. What makes you happy? What makes you feel sad? When you're around certain kinds of people, you're someone. You're around some other kind of people, you're someone else. And I want you to look at those situations. Around certain kind of people, you're happy, you're energetic, you feel comfortable to express yourself. Why? Take note of it. And these are the kind of people you want to stay around. There are some people you are and you don't feel comfortable. You are around, you don't feel comfortable doing certain things. Maybe I want to rub my nose like this. And I'll say, if I rub my nose like this, they'll say, Joy is a bush girl. And you don't want to do that because you're not feeling comfortable with those people. So ask them, why are you not comfortable with that? Because some of the ways of also being authentic is by building a social structure, your social system, social support system that helps you to live you. Babe, which one? This is not like you. You say, hey, how now? So usually you would do 1, 2, 2. Now you're doing, what happened? You get into that conversation. So it's all a mix of how you know yourself, from what people have observed about you, from what you know about yourself. But when you're intentionally studying these things, you start to piece the pattern together and get to meet you. Looking at how you react, what makes you angry, what makes you feel upset, what will happen now that will make you feel upset, what will happen now that will make you feel nice, what will happen now even if you're in a low mood that will just bring you up. What is that? Take note of all those things. These are the ways of getting to meet you. And you see why it is difficult to know you when you're too busy. When you don't give yourself time to, when you don't spend time with yourself, you see why it becomes too difficult to get to know you. Because when you don't spend time with yourself, you can't know who you are. So spend time with yourself to get to meet you by doing some of these things. I want to stop for now. We're going to take some ads. But before the ads, I also want you to put on the chat box. I want you to tell me what it feels like for you. You know, I would always say this is a dialogue. I want to hear from you.
The CEO of EHU.
So I want to hear you. Put it in the chat box. I will take some ad right now. So let's take some ad. And when we come back,
EHU America. Hello everyone, I am EHU America, the CEO of EHU.
I think we're having network challenges with the ads.
Hello everyone, I am EHU America. Hello everyone,
some days are like this. Sometimes just cut off. So while we're waiting for that to happen, I'll be reading some comments. Whenever the ads go up, I'll stop.
Hi, do you have issues with public speaking? Is it a problem?
It's technology. When technology deals with you, night hangout has not been a joke. Some days technology will come right up to say, I don't want you to do anything. Just like today, but we're resilient,
EHU America, the CEO of EHU Visual World. Visual World is a registered advertising company that creates visibilities for brands in order to increase their conversion rate through the creation of visuals. Our services include creation of all kinds of video ads for businesses, brands, birthday celebration, documentaries, intros, etc. And other services include graphic design, web design, printing services. Over the years, EHU Visual World has received so many testimonials and reviews from our amazing clients of how our services has increased their visibility and has increased their conversion rate. For more details, you can follow us at Instagram with EHU Visual World, or you can call 081 620 33468. EHU Visual World is your surest plug for all kinds of visibilities. Contact us today. Thanks for watching. Bye.
All right. The ads, we're having network challenges, but that's nice. That's EHE Visuals. She handles our audio visuals and our videos, so she's good. And I wouldn't hesitate to recommend her. So if you need to make that video that speaks, that resonates, you want to show what you do, you want to talk about your brand, then you need to connect to EHE Visuals, right? We have Amazon in the studio, and I'm just going to be adding her. Hey, welcome.
Good evening, EO Global. Good evening to the beautiful ladies hanging out this evening. Wow, I'm so grateful to be here.
It's so nice to have you here. Now, this is one of the new features that we started on the Friday night hangout. We decided that moving forward in this our new season, we're in new season, we're going to be spotlighting Amazons. And we say spotlighting because it's not the full range of interview we would usually have. and put people in for like 40 minutes, 1 hour. So we'll just be having a very quick conversation for 5 to 7, 10 minutes with our guest, Izine. And I introduced her earlier on my wall, but I always like people to self introduce. So I'll allow her to self introduce, then I'll come back to leading the conversation. So Izine, let's let the audience get to meet and know you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Ezinne Aningwe. Of course, my parents named me Ezinne Amaka. And if you're not Igbo, Ezinne Amaka means good mother is beautiful. That's the full meaning.
Mm.
And yes, I am a Christian, and I am also a broadcaster by profession. But of course, I took a break from my broadcast profession of over 8 years. That's radio precisely. I was in Dream FM in Nugu. I miss Nugu. I miss Oba. I miss all of those stuff. And I most importantly miss you all. So I left Enugu last year, 2021, to further my studies. So I'm currently doing my master's program in the Netherlands, International Institute of Social Studies. My major is on social justice perspective, human rights, conflict, gender studies, but my research now is tilting towards conflict and peace. I am the treasurer of the student union here. Um, what else? I manage the blog that's called Bliss Blog, issblog.nl. I manage that for the school. So that's what I'm about right now. Thank you.
Yay. So amazing. Thank you so much. And I know you have a very busy schedule. So I know you just returned from a study trip. And so we do appreciate you taking this time, to share with us tonight. Now,
Thank you.
one of the things I love about being a coach is I get to work with a lot of women from different, spheres of life, and I don't take it for granted at all because it also helps to broaden my horizon and I get to meet a lot of amazing, amazing women doing so much in their space. Now, coaching is different from mentorship. So we're going to talk about that much in another episode, not for today. We're going to look at the difference between coaching and mentorship, but you can have a coach and a mentor in one person. Now, Ezine has passed through different programs that I've run. She registered with the Dare to Dream. She's an alumni of our Dare to Dream coaching program. She's also an alumni of the Power Woman Forum, the No Mountain is Too High category. She's also an alumni of the She Speaks community, and she's still a tribe member. And isn't I just want you to share with the audience tonight, as a result of investing in yourself, taking all these different coaching programs. Some of them don't come cheap, and you were able to make that sacrifice to invest in yourself. I want to ask you, this is very organic. I told you it's an organic program. I didn't tell you the questions
Yes.
I'm going to ask you because I want it to come from you, because I also want to hear as much as I know the audience will want to hear. So having gone through this different coaching program, I want to look at three things. And the first one is in terms of knowing you. How has that played out? Because today we're talking about authentic self, celebrating yourself. How has being a member or an alumni of some of these coaching programs, how has that rubbed off? How has that impacted on you? What results has that given you?
Um, wow. Okay. First of all, I would say that I'm very grateful for for being on these programs from No Mountain is Too High, She Speaks, and Dare to Dream this year. And I am really so grateful for these platforms, and they have really helped me. I remember what you said. That was in December 2020, the first time I anchored events, and you talked about attaching value to things, and that way we can actually take things seriously. I'm paying money to go on trainings and personal development. You really talked about it, and that stuck with me that day. So,
Mm,
one thing that stands out for me, especially with this year's coaching session, is emotional intelligence. I became more emotionally aware. Now,
mm,
the way I grew up, I could be very quiet. I'm the type that it was as if I was shocked into quietness. So I knew I could do a lot of things, but I just observe and I keep quiet and I barely talk about things. I try to understand and absorb, but then at some point you need to speak up and you need to let people know what is going on with you so that they can also learn to appreciate you better. So that's one of the things I picked out. I remember the emotional intelligence class we had, and then communication. And at that point, practically speaking, I was having a hard time with my very good friend, Livia. She's from Brazil, but came from the US. I mean, it's one of the biggest challenges I've had living outside Nigeria. For the first time, almost getting to a year, people from different backgrounds, they are very vocal. Every little thing they're speaking, and then from my background and my makeup, I'm like, ooh, okay, so we we had our conflict, right? And interestingly, I've been studying conflict too, but what this coaching session did for me extra is it started helping me even with the classes I went through on conflict and trauma, managing emotions and all. So it helped me to see myself, to learn how to give room to the next person, to understand that we are all from different background, right? And to step up more in communicating how I felt, or saying, okay, I don't feel like talking now. I needed to say that, and that was one thing I remember you said to me. So it was more personal for me, and it was also addressing things I was going through at that point with my relationship with her. I mean, it was big because it was me coming back to something I had not dealt with so much, from my past. So that helped me to become more aware, and we had our hard conversations. I trashed it out, we talked for more than an hour. We made up, we went out, we bought things because we understood that our relationship here was just beyond being friends, but it also was going to be like a pillar to support the Christian community we have here, that we lead and we meet together. So that was so important, and that's one thing I'm so grateful for. It was very practical for me, and it came at a point I needed it. Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is really amazing. I always love to listen to you speak because of the way you're able to really put it all together. And if you're listening to Azin and you're watching this program tonight, I want to just reflect on how she expressed herself. She centered it. Me, I got aware. And that's what we're talking about tonight, getting to know you. She gave herself the permission to get to meet herself. She became keenly aware of who she is. And in that way, she was able to connect better. She was able to communicate better. And that's what one of the things we're talking about tonight. So you can't celebrate the you do not know. And really, I'm super proud of her because I've seen her journey and where she is right now. And the other question I want to ask is, in terms of clarity of goals, sometimes we're in a space where either we're overwhelmed or we just feel confused and a lot of things are happening. How has the different coaching program helped to give you clarity as to, the direction you want to go to?
I also remember during the Dare to Dream coaching this year, one of the things I talked about, trying to understand my goals beyond the academic goal I have here, the other things I'm supposed to do spiritually, and the rest of them. And I had a crisis too, understanding, where God would have me be at a point. But one thing became clear with the coaching. I remember I told you, I started seeing patterns in
Mm,
my life, and how how I've been, God has positioned me in people's lives, and it's me. I like to be behind supporting, so I have that grace to support. I'm barely that person that's like a pioneer. Start. That's why I've had people that come into my life and they push me, do this, start this, and I just step back. But once somebody starts it and I see the vision, I see where the person is going, and I see where I fit in, I push. I stand as a support. I bring that consistency, tell the
mm,
person we have to maintain this pattern. Remember, this is where you said we're going. So it happens here too with our fellowships on Wednesday. Sometimes, oh, Livia tells me, I remember one day she said, oh, I'm tired. The person who was supposed to host is not hosting this and that. I said, well, show up. We don't have to have a plan. We just show up and sing and tell God, we just showed up. Do what you have to do. And that day, interestingly, it was myself, her, she brought out a TV and then we had a worship session that night. And one other person that came, and it was actually because of her that we came that night.
Mm.
The way it worked out. So it was just amazing. So that's one thing I discovered about myself. I've seen that pattern from the past, some relationships I've had, even from my mom, my late mom. So, that support, being that support. So I'm always, prayerfully looking out for, where I would offer that support, to um yeah, so that's one clarity I got from understanding this part of myself during the coaching session. And like you said, it's growth development is not a one time thing. I am still unfolding. I wouldn't say that all the lessons that I got from the different coaching sessions since last year that who I've embedded all of them. No, I'm just taking it one step at a time. But one thing I know is that I'm not leaving the space because I understand what consistency does. And just like Proverbs, in the book of Proverbs, it says, if you stay, if you want to be wise, you have to stay, where wise people are. So I am here for good. I'm not going anywhere yet.
Thank you so much, isn't it? This is so uplifting and inspiring. When I say we win together, this is what I mean. It's not about just about one person, it's about us as a tribe, as a movement. And clarity is very important. And she is one person I'm so proud of. There's several of them, and she's one of them I'm so proud of because you may say, oh, but I'm a student. I am this. Wherever you find yourself in, there is a purpose why you're there. And you need to understand who you are for you to be able to act within that purpose. So if you don't know who you are, you can't even know the leading God has put placed in your heart. You won't even understand when He's speaking to you. And so this is very important, and it helps to give you peace. When you're walking in purpose, there's this calmness, there's this peace that you get that just tells you that, listen, you're in the right direction, keep moving. Growth is not a one day thing, it's a process. And you just need to give yourself the permission to do that. And finally, is in before I let you go, because I know how very intense your day is today. Finally, what would be your parting words to the audience tonight?
Wow. Celebrating yourself. I remember the first session you had on it last Friday. I sent a picture to you. I ran out, for me, I said, oh, let me not just hear, let me be a doer of the word. So I told Livia, I said, hey, Livia, I'm going out. I finished my coursework because that last Friday I wrote my final essay. So I finished all the courses I have to do for the master's. All I'm focusing on now is the research paper. So I said, so that's something to celebrate. I don't have to, because I'm already worrying, like, this RP, this research, paper, that's the main thing. Now, everything I've been learning, going to class for, it comes down to this. So I said, well, let's not bother for that one yet. Let's celebrate. So when I heard you, I said, oh, let me rush out and go and buy, something nice and treat myself to a good dinner. And I did. I just want to encourage the people watching, my fellow Amazons watching this evening. I know it's not something we usually do in our climb, and that's one thing I've come to appreciate here. They don't wait for something to be big for them to have the big money to celebrate themselves. It can be, just taking a ride, riding bike out, and then you see two people holding their hands. That's it. They're just celebrating, or just unwinding, or they just go sit near the beach and just relax. It's, we may not have the beach in Enugu or some other places, but it could also be you buying something that you've not eaten before. Like I treated myself to a plate of spaghetti carbonara. I said, okay, Italians, here I come. Just something. And my purse is not screaming for it. And I'm grateful I did that. So it could be anything. So that's one thing I know I've also learned. When I told Prof. Eom that I wanted to go on a trip for the first time in Paris in March, she said, make sure you guys. I said I was thinking of no going. She said, go, go, go. And I went, and almost I didn't want to go to Prague. And I remember, oh, if I tell her this is what she'll say, I say, okay, let's go to Prague. And it's not like I spent every day going out. Like she said, learn to say no sometimes. On Wednesday was my day to say no. I had to withdraw to, pay attention to myself and then revive my spirit while everybody
Mm,
was busy jumping around. So I will advise that we learn to take out that time, to relax. It could be going to the movies. While in Enugu, that's one of my favorite things. I always went to the movies. I called my friend Chibaby. I said, "Come, let's go to the movie. Let's go watch something." Or just buy a ice cream. I mean, Cold Stone. It doesn't kill. Like it's a once in a lifetime thing. It's not like you do it every day. Just do something because, like we say in our local balance, wahala no they finish, trouble not
yeah.
finish.
Ah,
And I've heard Prof say, how if people are asking her, how do you keep on going with all that you do? She said, celebration is her thing. She said it last week. I said, "Oh, okay." So learn to celebrate, in little things here and there. And we are also going to be throwing a party tomorrow in our space here.
woo!
But I know it's tough because we just came back from a trip. We're still tired and trying to figure out ourselves. But we said, "Hey, people, come. Let's just eat together in our space here." So it's something we can just do that way. It helps us to ease off. God is wise when he said we should rest. It's part of the rest.
Yeah.
Just rest and recreate, and then get rejuvenated. Thank you so much, man. Thank
Thank
you. I'm very
you.
grateful for this
We're
opportunity.
we're also we're also honored to have you here and for you to share with us. It's always good when you hear it from someone else who has walked the path. So when I say let's celebrate, and when I say invest in yourself, it's your own way of serving yourself. Your growth is your responsibility. Investing in yourself comes with its own returns. And like I told us last week, don't always focus on the monetary returns. So you want to spend 100 naira and get 150 or 200 naira. It doesn't always work that way. You could get some non-monetary value, like being energized, being inspired, that at the end of the day can also lead to some monetary value. Like when I take time out to rest, rejuvenate, and spend time on that, what it does is that I'm inspired, I'm rejuvenated to think big, to think creatively, and I can earn more. So always don't focus on the monetary value. Look at both ends. I could get some non-monetary value. I can also get some monetary value and be comfortable with yourself. So celebrate yourself. Thank you so much, Izine. I deeply appreciate you. And I will let you
Thank
go
you.
now while we try to wrap up the show. Thank you so much. And
Thank
I
you.
look
You.
forward to having you on the show
Bye.
some other time. Bye for
Same.
now. All
Bye.
right. Bye for now. So, yeah. Okay. I hope that was a very interesting one with Azin, and I hope you picked up one or two nuggets from there. And I'm also going to be making an offer to you tonight to tell you to invest in yourself. And there are so many programs that I run as a coach that you would find very valuable. We have the Power Woman Forum, and in that forum, we run um, master classes, newsletters. But the key thing here in that forum is, as a result of being a member of the forum, if you're very intentional, one of the things you get is clarity of purpose. You get clarity as to who you are, what you need to be doing, and you also get to network and meet like-minded women, premium women who can also support you on your journey. You get to, try your hands on a number of result-focused actions. It is you saying yes to yourself and giving yourself the permission to understand what you've been called for, how you can even maximize, you know, your skill set to take you to the next level. And I would encourage you that you should sign up for one of the Power Woman Forum subcategories. You could either decide to do the ready to sell, or you could decide to go the step further and do like Edizines did. No mountain is too high. Now, the interesting thing about the No Mountain is Too High is that when you subscribe, you get also private or personal health insurance. Yes, you heard me. Health insurance worth 1.2 million naira. So you can get healthcare services and annual haircut services up to the tune of 1.2 million naira. So you get to go to the hospitals, they pay your bills, they pay for your drugs, for some of your tests. And it's, you can, I forgot to ask Isn't that should have spoken about that as well. And it's something that most women do not give themselves the permission to invest in their health. So for us in the Power Woman Forum is all about the total growth and of a woman. So we're also bothered about your health and wellness. We are also concerned about your business, your personal development. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't considered signing up for a category of the Power Woman Forum, this will be the time for you to say yes to yourself. To say, yes, I want to join into the Power Woman Forum. And we make it easy. Like we have payment plan for you. So if you're not able to, because for the no mountain is too high, as 150,000 naira for a year for 12 months. And that comes out at about 13, 14, less than 14,000 naira a month for you to invest in your personal development, right? And so we do recognize that not everyone will be able to put out the money at once. And so we have a payment plan for you. So we give a payment plan where you can actually pay in installments and you still get to enjoy everything in the Power Woman Forum. So if you're interested in registering for the Power Woman Forum, do just put it in the chat box. Yes, 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 I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm ready. And we'll be in touch with you to give you the details and to get you signed up in. Now, when we are talking about celebrating ourselves, this is one of the gifts that you can actually give to yourself. Give yourself the gift of self development. Very key. Most of us can invest in so many things but ourselves. You can invest in so many things but yourselves. And one that is so huge, huge, huge on self development, because you can't really be successful in your business or professional life without you being successful in your personal development. It's very difficult, very, very difficult. You heard this in it when she talked about having clarity about the next thing. Emotional intelligence, very key when you have to make strategic decisions. You don't just make decisions based on just how you feel at that moment. You need to ask yourself some key questions. So investing in yourself is the way to go. In this second half of the year, if you have not made out plans to invest in yourself, then you need to start thinking about it. I always map out funds for my self development. I don't joke with it. In a couple of weeks and the next 3 weeks, I'm going to take off. I'm going to my own coach. I'm going to spend some time rejuvenating, resetting, and rediscovering myself. And I'm going to spend some time getting coached as well. I don't joke with that. I don't joke with that. I'm going to be away for almost 10 to 14 days doing that. And it's something that I deliberately do. And I'm very proud of doing that. And it's manifesting itself in the way I understand myself and in the way I run my affairs. And so some persons ask me, how do you do that? This part of it. So I get to invest in myself intentionally, consistently, and it plays out. I get non-monetary value, which I can convert to monetary value. So it's very key. So if you haven't thought about joining our tribe of Amazons in the Power Woman Forum, this is me giving you that opportunity to come join us. We are ready and willing to host you and to have you be a member of that tribe. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy for you to say yes. For some of us, we need to do things we've never done before, especially if you're not used to investing in yourself. You belong to the tribe member who think Google can tell you everything. Sometimes you have to pay the price to get to where you're going to. You want big dreams, you want big manifestations, then you need to do the do. You need to invest in yourself. You need to be willing to go the long haul. And I'm willing to welcome you. I'm willing to play full out with you. And I don't take that, my role as a coach, for granted. I do not take it lightly. It's one that I'm very well aware of, and I put a lot of premium on it. I'm looking forward to welcoming you. And I'm looking forward to those of you who have said yes. We're going to be in touch with you. A member of my tribe is going to reach out to you, and we're looking forward to welcoming you, giving you more information. I also encourage you to go to my website. There's a lot of resources on the website, free resources, paid resources, but you can't go to the website and come out the same. So just make out time to go to www.joyonyeso.com, and you can also click on the Power Woman Forum, and you can get a lot of information on the forum. You can also get to sign in on the forum and get yourself registered. If you need more information, we're here. We're here to help you, to give you more information. We're here to hold your hands, and we're here to take you through the next level in your self-discovery and in your business growth. That's why I'm here. So this is all part of celebrating yourself. This is your own gift to yourself when you invest in yourself. Remember the conversation we had today. Be authentic. Be authentic. And I hope you got a lot of value tonight. So before we wrap up, I want you to put in the chat box, tell me what are some of the valuable content or the value you're walking away with today. What's your take home? What is your take home tonight? I want to see your take home in the chat box. So just put your take home in your chat box. Yes, thank you so much, Madam Denike, for saying yes, you're ready. I'm going to be in touch with you. Thank you, Goodness, for saying the gift of self-development is essential. Thank you so much. Esther says celebrating our small wins. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I'm happy that you got a lot of value from this. Just keep it coming in the chat box. And like I would always tell you, even after the show, I go back to read your comments and to respond to your comments. Oh, we had a lovely time today. I had so much fun having this conversation with you. And I want to encourage you, run with it. Write your commitment down and run with it. Thank you so much. Madam Adedike says, be yourself. Simple. Be yourself. Discover who you are and celebrate your wins. No matter how small you think they are, learn to celebrate your wins. And EHE says, be authentic. Awesome. 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 I want you to see you running with it and doing it. And remember, I'm here to welcome you to the Power Woman Forum. It's really huge, and you can see some of the experiences isn't it joined shared with us tonight, and I'm so inspired. Just listen, it makes a difference when you see your client or anyone who has passed through any of your coaching program being able to articulate clearly the value they've gotten from your program. Is a win. That's a win for me. Adesa says my take home is for me to let people know what my buttons are. Beautiful. Setting healthy boundaries and keeping to that, letting people know what your boundaries are. Do not be afraid to use the power of your no. I keep saying that. Do not be afraid to use the power of your no. When you get to use your no, people get to value your yes when you use it. So learn to use the power of your no. You don't have to jump at everything. Isn't it said she learned to use the power of her no even on Wednesday while on the trip? She learned to say no. She said the no so she could stay and connect to herself. She was being authentic to herself. So as you go away this weekend, let's celebrate yourself. Tomorrow I'm excited, right? I have something amazing happening tomorrow. Ooh, I'm having a prayer walk with the young ladies tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to meet, and for 1 hour we're going to have a walk and we're going to pray. And we're going to pray for you, tribe members of Friday Night Hangout. We're going to pray for ourselves. We're going to pray for the second half of the year. I am so excited at what's going to happen tomorrow. And we're going to take a walk for 1 hour and just pray. Like, walking and praying. Oh, I just get the chills thinking about tomorrow morning. So I'm getting ready for that. And after that, we're going to take some time out and watch a movie together as a tribe. We're celebrating ourselves. And that's what we're talking about. Find what works for you. Do what works for you. And celebrate you. Celebrate you. Celebrate you. Find that tribe that you can really lean in. I was feeling so overwhelmed at some point, and I sent to one of my support systems. I said, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. I just vented. And I got that feedback. Hang in there, hold on, you can do this, do that, do that, do that. And I felt inspired to keep moving. And see me straight up all here, all smiling, all energized, all ready to go. Why? Because I leaned in. So give yourself that permission to be vulnerable. Being a power woman, being an Amazon means you also giving yourself the permission to be vulnerable and to lean in on your support system. Nobody can do it alone. You can't do it alone. You need people to hold your hands as you take that walk. So, thank you so much for tuning in and staying up to this time. I love, celebrate, and honor you. And for those who said yes, I celebrate you for saying yes to yourself. And I'm going to be in touch with you and to take you through the process of registration. You can also go to the website www.joyonyeso.com and you just click on the Power Woman Forum and you can get yourself all registered. You can pay online. It's a safe, secure payment system. We use the PayStack payment system. It is very secure. You don't need to be afraid of hackers, right? And then finally, get ready next week. I'm also going to bring on board another Amazon we're going to spotlight. We're going to be sharing her story, and I love people to share their own story. So what an amazing way to empower us when we listen to those who really tell the story of their journey. So next week, Friday, we're going to spotlight another Amazon where she will be sharing her journey and her story. And I hope it keeps you inspired and keeps you energized to celebrate yourself. And so till I meet you next week, Friday, please celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself. Because you are worthy to be celebrated. You are worthy to be celebrated. You are amazing. You are unique. And there's no one like you. No one can do you like you can do yourself. Because God created you uniquely for a time like this. I love you, honor, and celebrate you. Until I see you next week, Friday, bye for now. And to the members of my team, thank you so much. Despite the network challenges.
It's a Friday night. It's Friday night hangout.
The network is bad, but we're still grooving. It's Friday night hangout. Hey. Let's celebrate.
It's a Friday night.